Hey, how's it going, my buddies, my dudes? Can I ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah, what's up? What's the word?
You guys against animal abuse?
Yeah.
We just talking about it. We just talking about some animals just now.
No, we don't fuck with it. That's just bad. It's not good.
Like, if there was somebody like just stabbing a dog right in front of you guys and then eating the dog, what would you think?
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
But I drowning the dog right there. I ain't gonna lie. If they got a knife, bro, we gotta come with some artillery, bro. We using this.
I mean, if they get a knife or not, but you can still bust them in the air with a bottle or something like that.
But what if the justification is I want to eat the dog?
like,
I like
why
the taste of the dog. What you guys would think about that?
I'm just. If,
taste of the dog.
Kill a cow then.
that's what I'm saying.
So you guys eat animals? You guys eat animals?
Yeah, type shit.
Yeah.
You guys don't see it as a little bit hypocritical to be against animal abuse, but then kill and eat animals?
It's a different standard.
I feel like it's a different standard because if like,
Of course not, man. Why would I?
I mean, like
We're all
relatively.
God's creatures, but God put animals on earth in order to feed us.
True.
Okay, so you're a bunch of like religious people here,
I'm Catholic.
Yeah, they say that. They say that in the Bible.
Yeah.
and you think it would be fine in God's eyes to harm and exploit animals even if we have other options?
It's not exploitation
Not
if
hard.
animals do it to animals too.
True, because you got to think
Part of
about
the
it.
natural process.
There's animals out there that literally starve, and until they find another animal that's able to fulfill their energy, they find that animal, they survive off that, and they keep it pushing. If a shark was to swim out here and never attack another animal, they'd starve to death and die. We
So
understand.
you guys think God is benevolent?
I mean,
Is he benevolent? Use that question
I
specifically.
don't know what that means.
Good. He's a good being.
I think he's a fair God.
And you guys think animals have a capacity for suffering? They value their own lives, for example.
They have a capacity to suffer, but
Yeah.
I believe in.
But I think all the thing is like the circle of life though. If you see a lion, he gonna eat a gazelle, right? Just the same thing as a human. If he see a cow or a chicken, we can eat that.
We eat that.
If
Yeah.
you stuck in the wild, you gotta eat.
You gotta survive.
Are you guys stuck in the wild right now?
Yeah. It's the wild. I mean, at the end of the day, we could be sitting right here. There's a gunman over there.
You
He's
never
gonna kill us all
you
off, and
never
that's
hear
the
Bob
wild.
Marley. You
I'm just
never hear
saying,
Bob
like,
Marley,
we-
Concrete Jungle. It's
Type
the same
thing.
thing.
It's the
If
same
you
thing.
ain't got no money, how you gonna eat?
How you
You
gonna
can't. Look. You can't. To be a vegan is expensive.
Type.
Not true, bro.
I ain't
I
gonna
mean,
lie.
it could go two ways.
Think about the most cheapest food of all. What the poor of the poor eat. What kind of food is it?
But we gotta
Rice
remember
and
too,
whatnot.
right? I can
Rice,
tell-
right? Rice, beans, lentils, potatoes, pasta. Is that cheap?
For sure, but I work really hard
Type.
for my own money, and I
Yeah,
choose
but
to eat meat.
I mean,
You know?
But,
So
like, we gotta understand it like this. Human beings make their own currency, they make their own value, and etc. But let's be realistic, right? At the end of the day, we still introduce to the environment in a sense of where, due to the fact that we've made our own creations, we made our own foods, etc., whether it's vegetation or all that,
Sunlight.
at the end of the day, we still got to survive in some shape or form. Now, we could go ahead and survive off of vegetation. We could go ahead and survive off of meats. We could go ahead and survive off of water just for the rest of our lives. For some, it may last. For some, it may not. But at the end of the day, human beings are built differently. And how I look at it is like we are able to have the ability to have our freedom to choose our survival. And that's free will, right? We could choose the way we want to choose to survive. So if somebody want to choose to just survive off of vegetation, let them do.
So
But if
let me ask you
somebody
this,
wanna
because we do have other alternatives. You guys think God is good, He's benevolent. So you guys think God would rather us harm animals needlessly because we have other options, or would you think He would rather us eat like non-sentient beings and not harm His sentient creation, for
Hold up.
example?
Do you think like God created this whole earth is good for this whole
No,
earth?
I'm agnostic. No, I don't believe that.
So, you eat avocados.
Sure.
That's the most harmful produce to this earth. Over all forms of produce.
What would the rights violation be?
What?
What would the rights violation be with avocados?
Have you? What cows you spoke to that told you their rights was being harmed?
What's that? What's the question?
No, my question was like, what cows you spoke to that told you their rights was being harmed?
So let me ask you this, man. Let's say we were.
Just ask you a simple question.
I haven't spoken to cows, but let me ask you this. Let's say we were, instead of eating animals right now, you guys were eating humans, and you had an option to stop doing that and go vegan, would you continue to pay for humans? Because let's say we've been doing cannibalism since the beginning of human history.
I mean,
it's a tradition.
I never eat a human.
No, but would you guys, if you hypothetically, if you were eating humans right now, would you continue to eat humans or would you go vegan?
Hypothetically, I can't imagine what you talking about because I ain't do it.
You go vegan, right?
Hold on. You say if I gotta choose between humans and vegan, I go on vegan.
You would choose to go vegan rather than commit cannibalism, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
But presumably you think it's fine to eat animals. So my question is like, what's true of animals that if it was true of us would change your attitude in the human context?
See, but you gotta,
No.
you
Was
gotta,
raised Catholic.
you gotta go back to you gotta go back to the Bible and all this stuff though. Jesus, God, he done test human beings on the top of the rooftop. See, he put the crocodile, he put the chicken, he put the lamb, he put all the stuff in the front of the prophet. And he said, all of my stuff what you see here, do not consider it unclean. Eat that. So if God say to me to eat that, what you think I could do? I could eat that all day. So,
Yeah, so but we've been doing we can all agree, right, that we've been doing bad stuff since the beginning. He's like human slavery used to be illegal, right, a couple of years ago, right? And we abolished that.
But
Right?
It still happens in some areas of the world right now.
But you guys wouldn't support it with your money, right? If you had an option between supporting slavery with your money or not supporting slavery, you would choose not to support slavery, right?
Majority of people.
Yeah, but we have an option right now to support animal cruelty and exploitation or not support it. Why not choose compassion instead of choosing to harm sentient
You
animals?
know St. Thomas Aquinas?
I've heard of him. Yeah, a Catholic philosopher. Yeah, what's up with him?
So he has rules that talk about the stages of human soul and living soul. Humans are at the top in his teachings, and then below them are animals like deer and sheep and lambs and stuff, and then they operate at a different level of like soul capacity, you could say, almost as a part of his rules. So that rule alone is what lends to us being able to eat animals, because what his teachings say and what God, I mean, he's a saint, so in my eyes, he's anointed by God to be able to, his teachings are God speaking through him.
So let me ask you this, like, as I understand that you think that there's like a hierarchy of value, humans are on the top, but why do you think animals have so insufficient value that it's okay to holocaust them for hamburgers?
He didn't say they're insufficient.
Like I'm asking him specifically, what do you think puts up like so above animals that it wouldn't be okay to holocaust us for hamburgers?
Sentience and
But
consciousness.
okay, so let me ask you this, like those are the two traits, right? Sentience and consciousness. Would you agree that there are marginal cases of humans where they have like low amounts of sentience and intelligence, or what do you say, sentience and what?
Consciousness. Yeah. So
I see those as synonymous. Sentience and consciousness are the same thing. Capacity for subjective experience. So let's say we found a group of humans that had levels of sentience equivalent to those of a cow. Let's say we just found those humans right now. Would you be in favor of like grouping those humans and holocausting them for sandwiches or no?
Okay, so here's what I think. There, recently with science, they've been able to make meat in labs, right? So say that meat in lab that's not conscious, that's not sentient, but it is still meat, right?
Yeah, but did you answer my question, my friend?
No, I'm coming
No,
around.
it's a yes or no question. Yeah, my question is this: like, let's say we find.
I'm not gonna pass up the question about eating humans because obviously,
But I would.
obviously, I'm not gonna eat humans. Okay.
Yeah, but do you understand? Do you understand that would entail a logical contradiction? Because I asked you what's true of animals, that if it was true of us would justify the same treatment to us. You say consciousness and sentience, but if I found marginal cases of humans with low amounts of consciousness and sentience, you wouldn't eat them. So that's a logical contradiction.
Nothing to do with their brain, everything to do with their soul. A human soul is different than an animal soul. At the end of the day, we're not talking about the consciousness of a human. Obviously,
What's the proof for souls? What's your evidence that humans have souls and animals don't?
that's what belief is alone. If you're agnostic, I understand.
Blind belief justifies violence and murder.
All I'm saying is that
Yes, yes.
there's humans. No, all I'm saying is there's millions of humans that are actively
in my case, yes. If
killing.
you're talking about animals,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're saying
No,
that's
there's
violence, then yes.
there's
to your parameters,
a number
yes.
of humans that are actively killing other animals out there and selling it for.
I have a question for you, bro.
No. But let's be honest, right? And I need y'all to think about this. If somebody already killed 1,000 fish and chose to sold those fish for, for us to consume, right? What are we gonna do? We gonna let the fish waste, or somebody gonna eat them?
Do you understand the concept of supply and demand?
I do, yeah.
Like, do you think if everybody stopped paying for fish, people are gonna continue to kill fish for you, or do you think it's gonna reduce the amount of fish
Do you
killing?
think there's enough agriculture on this earth to supply everyone with just eating vegetation?
Yeah, if you go to the
There's not.
if you
Look,
look,
there's not.
No, Mas.
There's not enough land.
that's an empirical question, and I'll point you to the evidence right now.
No,
Like if you take a look at the latest United Nations climate report, they concluded, according to all the available evidence, that if the world was to adopt a plant-based system instead of an animal agriculture system combined with a plant-based system, we would be able to feed more people with less land.
No,
With
but
a
that
plant-based
wasn't-
system, like by
that wasn't my
2050,
question.
like the population that's expected to be in the planet by 2050, we will be able to feed those people, more of those people with less land, by a plant-based system, because you understand that animals have to eat. The 80 billion land animals that we kill every day for food, every year for food, they have to eat. What do they eat? They eat plants. So we're feeding plants to animals to then murder those animals instead of eating the plants directly. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
In a meat-based system, we already have more vegetation taking up more land than meat, like than the crops needed for the cows and pigs and all that
we
shit
also
to eat.
gotta understand weather, right? Like, all that depends on weather too, and we can't predict that. No matter how good we are, no matter how much technology we have to be able to predict weather, imagine if one day somebody, like God, chose to just like, fuck this place, let's have bare bad weather. If we had bare bad weather and we're relying on agriculture, how are we gonna look when we can't be able to grow our crops properly?
I don't
Because
think-
at the end of the day, we have fossil fuels, we have all these other stuff, we have pollution and all this, right? And that's stuff that just kind of taps into the environment different. And the earth is going to react to things the way it's going to react, because at the end of the day, we don't have as much control of it as we think. So relatively, if we was to survive just off of agriculture, we also have to comprehend the fact that if there's a time period where we can't predict the weather and the weather is just not working for us, it's not going to work out as well as we think. At the end of the day, we've been surviving off eats for this long. It's been thousands of years that human beings been moving. I ain't going to hold you. The plants is never going to bust as good as the meats. So
Yeah, I don't think a couple of things there. So
You know?
first of all, I don't think taste pleasure justifies violence. I don't think any of what you just said justifies a holocaust of innocent beings like animals. By the way, I have a question for you, because you were talking about the hierarchy of value and whatnot. You say you would never eat humans. So, but what's it like? You said you mentioned souls. You mentioned souls, right? You mentioned soul. No, I wanna ask you, what's your epistemic criteria for determining a being, that when you meet a being, how do you know that being has a soul or not?
Human.
It's just human. Like, how would you define human?
What?
How would you define human?
How would I define a
Are
human?
you using a biological definition of being able to interbreed with them? Homo sapiens, for example, is that what you mean?
I guess Homo sapiens then.
So let me ask you something. Like, if we were to, I wanna, I wanna take him to specific dialectic, because I think he has a reduction on his view right there. Like, do you think, like, if we were to hypothetically find a group of sapient beings that were definitely not humans, let's say we were, like, your friend right here, let's say we were to test his DNA, and it concluded he wasn't Homo sapien, he's not human, would you be in favor of stabbing and eating him?
You could say aliens for that matter.
Yeah, no, but
Other sentient
but
beings.
specifically him. Let's say we tested his DNA, he wasn't human. Would you be in favor of stabbing him in the neck and eating him?
No. No.
Oh, that's a contradiction, bro.
Yeah. So I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, what I believe, you believe in subjective. You've been talking about subjectivity this whole time, right? You believe in subjective and objective truth, right?
What do you mean? I believe that morality is subjective. Is that what you're asking? Yeah.
I'm saying that your beliefs to you are true, right? And my beliefs to me are true, right?
And I'm doing an internal critique. I'm exploring your values and see what follows logically from your values. Right now, what follows logically from the values you stated is that it would be okay to kill your friend and eat him if it turns out not to be a human. I asked you, what's the epistemic criteria when you meet a being? How do you determine if he has a soul or not? You said being a human. So if he's turned out not to be a human, you would have to be in favor of killing and eating him.
I can have conversation with him. I can talk to him. Okay. I can form a connection with him, right? But with,
Okay, so
you can
you
say
say
with a dog, I can also form a
conversation,
connection,
connection.
right?
Okay.
I can form a connection with a dog though, right? Okay. I'm not gonna eat a dog, right? I can form a connection with a cow.
What would be the difference? What would be the morally relevant difference between a dog or a cow or a pig?
Totally, personal connection.
Personal connection. What do you mean by personal connection?
So
wouldn't you be able to form a personal connection with a pet pig or cow? What do you mean?
So as the apex predator of the world, right? We have the ability to choose what we're gonna eat and what we're gonna not eat, right? I like dogs. I think they're cute. They give me companionship. I'm gonna keep that. I like hamburgers. I'm gonna eat hamburgers. You know what I mean? I understand. There's
If you were to like the taste of dogs, you would eat dogs.
yeah.
You would be fine with that.
If I didn't find companionship in dogs, I would eat dogs. Yeah.
So let's say you were raised right now in a culture where they've been breeding dogs since the beginning of your culture. You would continue to eat dogs, or would you say it would be a moral obligation to stop
That's
doing
what
it?
if that's what I was born.
But the question is not if some people do that. The question is ethical. Is it good to do that?
Is it good to do that?
Is it ethical to do
Yeah,
it?
so I understand your point in your saying is that all animals are the same, and there's.
I'm not saying that. No.
Okay, what are you saying then?
I can agree with you. There's a hierarchy of value. I just don't think they have so insufficient value. It would be okay to Holocaust them for hamburgers.
Holocaust them is a crazy way to put that.
That's why.
How would you define Holocaust?
You would have thought the
Holocaust is a very specific place in time.
Do you know? No. I'm not talking about the historical Nazi Holocaust. I'm talking like by the dictionary definition of Holocaust. It means slaughter on a mass scale.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing to animals.
I'll give you
80
this.
billion animals
I'll
per
give you
year.
this. The rate at which we kill animals is not how we originally started killing animals. You know what I mean? You would kill a pig, you would eat that for a while.
I
Right?
raise my own chickens at my house.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? I raise them up, and then I slaughter them myself. And then I cook
Horrific,
them for
man.
myself.
Horrific. Why you do that if you
So-
can just eat something else?
Okay, so what's the difference than growing plants and cutting them down and killing them?
Plants aren't sentient.
They aren't sentient.
How we
They
know
aren't
that?
sentient.
There's
So your threshold for a level of sentience is just different than mine. That's the only difference.
No. What do you mean threshold for a level of sentience? Plants aren't sentient at all.
Sure. Yeah. So you're saying that's where your threshold stops.
I would say that's like having a mind, a subjective experience is what gives moral worth to a. Yeah, we believe that sentience is an emergent property of brains, but you can imagine a hypothetical where somebody would be sentient without a brain. Let's say AI or something like sentient AI or something like that. I think what gives value to a being is having a capacity for subjective experience. Dogs have that, cows have that, pigs have that, plants don't have that. I think it's fine to eat
Plants
plants.
definitely have that subjective experience. You know, a Venus lodge can.
You think plants can feel
yes,
and
I
think?
do think plants can feel.
Yeah.
And think. Venus flytrap. What does it do? The bug lands on it, it snatch it. It feels the bug land and it snatch it. Yo, you ever put a plant by a window? Which way does the plant grow?
Yeah, so there's
Towards
a
the
distinction,
sun.
by the way,
The
like
plant grows towards the sun.
there's a distinction. There's a distinction in biology between intelligence and sentience. A form of life can be able to
You asked
react
me-
to stimuli.
You asked me if
Uh,
plants can feel.
Hey, sorry, my friend.
Nah, type shit.
Hey, my friend. So in biology, there's a distinction between intelligence and sentience. A form of life can be able to react to stimuli, just like a computer can react to stimuli that doesn't entail sentience. Sentience is specifically a capacity for subjective experience. It's having a mind, having able to have thoughts, emotions, having able to being like something experiencing the world from within. That's sentience.
Okay.
Fucking plants don't have sentience, bro. If you have two options right now, stabbing an innocent dog in the neck and eating the dog, or eating an apple, what would you choose?
I mean, I'm gonna eat the apple
Why?
because I have past connections with dogs.
What do you mean
My
past
only
connections?
I've had many dogs in my life. My only interactions with apples has been eating them.
Okay, so you do agree? You do agree that if you were to be raised in a society hypothetically where it was normal to eat dogs, you would be fine with continuing to eat dogs, or would you stop?
What do you think people in countries that do that do?
Yeah, and
They're
then,
trying to
these
live.
Poor countries.
I would say that's wrong, man.
survive off of
Some
that.
You
people,
think it's wrong?
some
Do you
people.
think someone should starve before they eat?
Yeah.
What do you
I
mean
mean, like,
starve? I'm
there's-
not saying anything. I'm
there's
starving. I say they
tribes-
could eat something else.
There's tribes in other places in the world, right? Now, let's think about this, because we got to think. We may have the luxuries of the things that we have here, but there's other people in other places that don't have those luxuries, and they see energy and going out, finding animals that think, that live, that feel, and they get energy from that. What are we gonna do? Stop them from doing what they
gonna
only
stop a
know?
tribe in
We're gonna stop a
Amazon
tribe from
from eating?
surviving? That's how they
You
survive.
can't.
I'm talking specifically to you guys right now.
But, like,
You guys right here.
no,
You guys.
the world.
We
But-
You guys.
live in-
I think that the
Wait.
I'm
One
from-
second.
no, no, no.
Let me turn real quick. You just said if I was in a society that ate dogs, would I continue to eat dogs? I'm not in a society that eats dogs.
Right,
And then you're
shit.
just saying
You're
that.
talking hypothetically.
Yeah, so like
At that
if we're
point.
gonna talk from what we understand. At the end of the day, there's communities that do and there's communities that don't. Empower to them. They could go ahead and do what we want to do. We're not gonna tell nobody what they gotta eat and what they gotta do.
You ain't
If
gonna-
it's
So my friend,
working out for them,
my friend,
work it out.
I'm gonna point out the
They
horrible
can't
entailments
eat
of your
what they
view right
eat.
now.
Go
So
ahead.
so I'm talking specifically to you guys. You guys have an option. Even if the rest of the world were to never change, you guys do have an option right now. You can change. You personally can choose compassion instead of murdering others. Let's say the whole world was raping children. It was normal to rape children, right? Would you guys continue to do that just because everyone?
This is crazy.
That's wild.
Like,
It's not crazy. I'm gonna. Can I point out the analogy? Can I point out the analogy really quick? Hey, so sorry. Excuse me.
Let him point out the analogy.
Can I point out the analogy? I'm talking about oppression in both cases of innocent beings. Animals in the meat industry, egg industry, dairy industry, they are technically raped. They bred into existence through a process called artificial insemination. So it is rape. So if we were like the analogy is this, that he was telling me, the world's never gonna change. So why do I have an obligation to change? I'm saying even if the world would never to change, like if everybody's doing horrible thing, why would you continue to do a fucking horrible thing because everybody else is doing it? That's insane.
Everybody has tradition. It's like I grew up in Jamaica. Yeah. You would, if I wanted bacon, you take a pig out of the pen, you kill that pig, take the bacon out of the bacon, and eat the fucking bacon.
And you think something being a tradition makes it okay? Just because we've been doing something for a long time makes it ethical. Is that what you're saying? Slavery was ethical then because it was a tradition. Human slavery.
Well, no. Because at the end of the day,
then what's your justification?
That was the oppression of humans.
Humans
enter the equation.
I have a question for you.
No?
Can I just ask you one question? Because you were talking about artificial insemination.
Yeah.
Right? Have you ever been involved in the process of two animals breeding?
Hell no, man. I hope never to be. Why?
Because all you do is put the male and the female in a pen and let nature work.
That's not true.
I promise
you. That's not true, my friend.
I promise you.
That's not
I
true.
used to have rabbits.
Do you know? Let me tell you.
In the farms that I know y'all talking about, that's not what happens. But I live in that like.
That's irrelevant.
I'm talking like okay. So let me.
You acting like it's only one.
So let me tell you something. Like I can agree with you that there's marginal situations in which animals are like treated more humanely or whatnot. But the artificial insemination thing that I was talking about was factory farms, right?
Sure, but you're not.
Yeah, but even in the small farm situation, it's still exploitative, and they still end up in the slaughterhouse, and it's wrong in my view.
I agree with you, but the way it should be.
What's your objective with the questions? What are you trying to
I'm trying to get closer to the truth, like point out the sort of horrible excuses people use to justify harming others, stuff like that. And I have a question for you, man, because I'm still not clear what is your epistemic criteria for determining a being has a soul and determining a being has moral worth. You said humanity, but if your friend turned out not to be human, you would be against killing and eating him. So that's a contradiction. So I would ask you again, what's your epistemic criteria?
Into a contradiction then. So.
No, I didn't walk you to a contradiction. You walked yourself into a contradiction. Yeah.
So a sentient being and consciousness is what we started this conversation on. Right?
Yeah.
Word. That's what we started this on, right?
Well, what's your question?
Consciousness or sentient? That's the same thing. That's what we.
I asked you a specific question, but do you wanna ask me something?
Scotty.
No, you can. All right.
I want to ask you something. No, bar for bar, word for word.
I asked him something.
Actually, let's say there's a disease, right? No, because this could happen. Let's say that there's a disease, and let's say that it kills every form of greenery on the planet. The only thing that's left over is nothing but dry and meat. Are you gonna eat meat? You can still go the same way. You're starving. There's weeks without eating. All that type of shit. None of these. No palm trees. No grass. No nothing. No sand. No nothing. All this shit. And this is a big hypothetical because you're giving extremes, right?
Sure, I can happily answer it, yeah.
So, what are you going to eat?
So, if it's between murdering innocent beings or starving to death, I would choose to starve to death. Yes, of course.
All right.
So let me ask you something. Let me ask you something, my friend. No. I'm gonna point out a horrible reductive to your view. Listen how horrific his view is. Okay, if you were alone on Earth, like there was just you and your family, all greenery was out, all animals to eat were out, but there was like other families of mentally disabled humans. Would you be okay with stabbing them to death and eating them, or would you rather starve to death?
No, I'm gonna eat the fish.
No. In the hypothetical, no animals. Fish are animals, my friend.
I'm telling
Zero
you,
animals.
Have you ever fished before in your life?
No. I asked him a question.
Have you
I asked him a question. I want his response.
I'm asking you a question.
Let him respond to the question. He avoided the questions. So no other sentient life except a family of mentally disabled beings. Would you be in favor of stabbing that family of mentally disabled humans to death and eating them, or would you rather starve to death?
That's friendly fire. Why would I do that?
Fish ain't sentient, gang. Fish ain't sentient.
Yeah, so you would rather starve to death than murdering innocent beings, right?
promise you we don't
Yeah,
eat fish.
if it comes
I mean, yeah, because it's
Yeah,
people.
same thing.
But
And
we're
I don't
humans.
see a morally significant difference between animals and mentally disabled humans that would justify differential
So,
treatment.
alright, so you-
I'm asking you guys, what
but
the
that's
fuck is
what I
the
mean.
difference?
That's what
No,
separates us.
but all right. So here goes. Right, like if we play in COD, that means that you think that all of us is on the same team, and that's fire. You could go ahead and do that.
What do you
But
mean
I
the
know
same
what-
team? What do you mean the same team?
Same team is that at the end of the day we're humans, right? If we
We're
could,
sentient beings.
we have the ability to help each other to survive.
Why arbitrarily discriminate based on species? We're all sentient beings in this
Because
planet.
we're
We're all
ju-
here together.
So you just
animals
like a
are here.
spider.
Animals
You're
are
just
here.
like a you
No.
just like a spider. You just like a bug.
I would rather kill a spider than kill you, for example.
You don't think they trying to survive too? That shit's tough for them.
Now you're gonna defend the spiders while you
But
murder
you're
innocent
defending
beings.
them.
Okay.
Like it's almost like you're saying that you could doof a spider,
Would you rather
but you
all
wouldn't
of
doof
1,
doof
2,
a
3,
cow,
4? You
nigga.
would rather all
It's
four
the
of us
same
starve
shit.
to death?
It's the
You see
same
what I
thing.
mean?
Then
Like,
kill a
it's
spider.
like
Contradicted
the
yourself.
spiders is doing the same
You
shit.
just contradicted
The
yourself.
centipedes
What's the
is doing
contradiction?
it.
Yo,
The bugs
no,
is
no,
You
doing
just
it.
said that you'll kill a
wait.
You just said you'll kill a spider.
That's
I love it.
like
This one right.
yourself. Like it's just like that's what I'm
You would
saying.
kill a bug. That's what you said,
They
right?
trying to survive the same
You-
way we trying
you
to
would
survive.
kill a
What's the
bug,
difference? That's what I was
But
saying.
you won't kill. They're still an animal, correct?
And they think just like how other
Wait,
animals
wait.
think.
What's
You
the
would-
contradiction? What's the
Would
contradiction?
would you kill a bug?
What's the contradiction?
Would you
Would
kill
you-
a
He asked you a
bug?
question.
Would you kill a bug?
Depends on the bug. What's the contradiction?
Well, what?
What's the contradiction? I don't see the contradiction.
That's game.
I don't see the
You
contradiction.
don't
Bug doesn't have
think-
sentience?
Yeah,
You
the
don't-
bug doesn't have sentience. They don't think.
The bug doesn't have sentience?
I'm agnostic on it. I don't know. They
What?
could be.
Agnostic on it?
Alright, y'all. Have a good one, bro.
Yeah.
For real, have a good one.
Yeah, man, but are you gonna respond to the question or you run away from the question, by the way?
Okay, have a good one, bro.
Are you gonna run away from the question?
Here I am. I answered my question.
You didn't answer your question, man. Your position leads to a contradiction.
We asked you a lot of questions. You ain't answered none of them.
Yeah,
This
you
is-
ain't
we
Why
just-
didn't I answer? Why didn't I answer?
We just trying to have a. We just trying to have a conversation.
Why didn't I answer, bro?
We're just trying to have a conversation.
Why didn't I answer?
No, I'm just telling you. We're just trying to have a conversation.
What if we ate bugs instead? Would you care?
Bugs inspired.
Depends. If they're sentient, I would rather you eat plants instead of bugs. Yeah.
Wait. So you don't think a bug
don't
is
think a bug
sentient?
is
I don't know if they're sentient.
Well, why not? Because we've studied them enough.
Only because it's a.
There's no scientific consensus on bug
So
sentience.
you're only concerned about mammals.
Hey, bro, are you gonna run away from the question?
Are you only concerned
Bro.
about mammals?
Bro, are you gonna run away from the question? Okay, so again,
You're concerned about the mammals.
your,
think I understand your question.
your view right now leads to a contradiction. So I ask you this: what's true of animals that, if it was true of humans, would make you okay with taking away human rights and exploiting them?
Consciousness. A degree of consciousness.
The degree of consciousness. So if we would find marginal cases of humans with low amounts of consciousness, you would be fine taking away their human rights and murdering them.
No, because
that's
I
a contradiction.
To you.
No,
Because
that's
you don't-
literally a contradiction.
No, I understand.
Do you understand what a contradiction is?
Okay,
In
don't,
formal logic.
don't patronize. Come on.
No, you say a contradiction to me.
No, I'm saying. So this is what I'm saying, right? To you, you believe that the degree of consciousness is different than what I do. I believe that there's a human soul, right? And that's what you don't believe in, right? Because you're agnostic,
And
right?
I'm asking you, like, assuming for the sake of argument, souls are real, what's your epistemic criteria for determining a certain being when you meet that being, it has a soul?
Humans.
Okay, and you would be in favor of killing Latinos if they happen not to be humans, right?
But what about
Him, you're saying if he happens to.
No, if Latinos happen not to be human beings, they happen not to be Homo sapiens, you would be in favor of holocausting them for meat.
When I was born, they were considered human. Till I die, they'll be considered human.
Like, in that specific hypothetical, let's say it turned out that Latinos aren't human by your definition of human,
Yeah, okay.
would you be in favor of systematically breeding and holocausting them for hamburgers?
That's not
Okay.
logical.
Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
Okay. Would I be willing to kill them for food?
Yeah, if they turn out not to be humans.
No.
Okay, that's a contradiction.
Okay, can I explain myself?
Sure, but do you recognize that as a contradiction?
Okay, yeah, no.
Do you recognize that's a contradiction?
Can I just talk for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is what you believe is a contradiction. It's true to you, right? Because you don't believe in souls and you don't believe in that aspect, right?
No. Like,
You can't say no to me because that's what I believe.
I asked specifically, what's your criteria for determining a being has a soul? You said humanity. If Latinos turned out not to be humans, you would have to be in favor of slaughtering them on a mass scale
That's
for
just a
food.
crazy arbitrary argument.
No, man, that's the what leads for what you just said. You said that what determines if
Yeah,
a being
if
has
you
a soul or not is being human. If Latinos turn out not to be human, you would have to be in favor of
If
killing
you
them.
change the definition of human, of course they're not human.
What do you mean change the definition of human? Like
If
by your own definition of human, if it turned out like tomorrow you woke
But you're
up
asking
and
for my
scientists
definition.
discovered that they are not human according to your definition,
Sure, right.
you would be okay holocausting them for food.
No.
Okay, then that's a contradiction. What's the difference between us and animals that would justify the differential treatment, or what's your criteria for determining a being has a soul?
What I believe, what God told me to believe.
What God told you to believe. So if God would tell you to believe that it's okay to rape children, you would be okay with that?
No.
I know, hypothetically. If, in the Bible, it's a missing passage right now. We found a missing passage in the Bible that God specifically told us it's okay to rape 15-year-old girls. You would be in favor of doing that?
They told us that it's okay to stone pedophiles.
And you think that's okay?
No. No, because
Okay,
we live in
then
a
you
different
pick
society
you
than we
pick
do.
and choose whatever you want to believe in, and then use the Bible to justify it, right?
Just like you.
No.
Yeah.
Just like you with any of your beliefs. You pick and choose what you believe, and then you assign what you believe to those beliefs and values and principles.
just
Like
pick
I'm
and
doing with
choose
my
what
life.
Yeah,
book
but
to kill.
at least I don't have my moral system enough full of contradictions. Like yours.
Okay. Cool, bro.
Shit, you got
Yeah, sure, man. Like you have contradictions in your moral system. I think like anybody upon hearing this would be in the side of people of somebody without contradiction. If you're claiming that I have a contradiction, what's the contradiction?
That
You
you're changing
just
the definition.
you just
You're
well-
changing
What do you
the
mean changing the definition?
You're saying if Latinos weren't human all of a sudden, would you eat them? That's not the world we
That's
live
not
in.
real.
I understand why you
said
don't want to
animal.
engage. I understand why he doesn't want to engage with the hypothetical. Let's say we were to find sapient aliens, not humans at all.
Yeah.
According to any definition of humanity, would you be in favor of holocausting them for
It
food?
depends on how they treat us. Right now,
Let's say they were benevolent.
then I'm not gonna kill them and eat them.
Then that's a contradiction as well, bro.
you just
Cool,
said you would
to
kill.
you,
What
to you,
about
that's
the
what
bugs?
you-
You just said
you're
you'll
saying
kill
your
bugs.
position.
What
Your
about the
position.
centipedes?
Subjective
What about the
truth, yeah.
spiders?
You
You said
Yeah,
that
so-
you
What
would
about
kill-
the,
you want a beer?
You just said you
Sure,
would
I
kill
take
an
one.
animal.
And thanks for engaging, man. You know.
You just said you
Oh,
would
I hope you. It's will be in all in good faith.
Not angry.
Sure, same. Like I'm just here to defend the animals, man.
I understand
What about
totally,
the,
and I'm here for this kind of conversation always.
Okay, take care. bro.
No, what about the bugs?
You
For
just-
real. Like, why are we not talking
Whatever
about
you
that?
want.
The
We're not gonna
insects.
kill nothing.
Insects
Why?
is an
Why?
animal.
Why can't we just kill? Like, if you plan on not killing nothing, why you can't? Why?
Why
Why
you
is
gonna try to
everything?
kill the
Yeah,
bugs?
for example, because I'm in favor of killing murderers. For example, like I'm in favor of killing Nazis to save Jewish people. What about you guys?
But what is that?
No,
What does
I'm
that
asking.
have
I'm
to do
asking
What does
you.
that have to do with the bugs?
Bugs. Most bugs are carnivores. They eat other animals alive.
A lot of animals.
A lot of other animals,
A
bro.
lot of animals eat
What
other
are you?
animals.
What animals you studying, gang?
Yeah, and what's
So
the
like a
contradiction?
lion.
I'm asking you guys. What's the contradiction in my view?
So would you kill a lion then?
Yeah.
What if
You would kill a
you
lion.
would kill a
Sure.
lion? All right, so our conversation done.
Why is it done? What's the contradiction? You claim I have a contradiction in my view. What's the
Do you know?
contradiction?
Do you understand that lions have children and they'll try to hunt for their children?
You can
so
still
they
bu-
can make
you
sure
can build a
and
bond
they-
with a
So
lion.
let me
the
ask
mother
you guys
would
something.
starve before they even get
let-
the food to their kids.
You could build. There's people out there that raise the lion from birth.
Tight.
Got separated from the
You-
mother.
you swim
Can
out
you
there.
still see? Can you still see? By the way, let me ask you guys something. If a lion were to be set loose right here from the circus and about to murder your own friend, would you, if you had a gun, would you shoot the lion to save your friend?
Yeah.
Damn right.
You guys are also in favor of killing lions. What the fuck's my contradiction then?
But
Your
but-
contradiction
but
that we
we're
can't
in
kill no
favor of
animals.
Killing fish.
Tight.
If
Tight.
I had to
Like,
kill
it's
my own
like-
chicken, I'll kill
My
him.
pos- my position
if
is
I had
this.
to kill my own cow,
My position
I
is
would
this.
kill him.
Do you guys know what
I would
veganism
go hunt
is?
my damn self.
Yeah, we do.
What's veganism according to you?
Bad eats. Cause
You think it's a diet? It's just a diet.
it's a diet. It's a choice.
No, it's a moral philosophy. I'll tell you the definition of veganism. Veganism is a logical extension of the idea of human rights. We already have common ground in believing that humans deserve basic rights, not to be exploited, not to be enslaved, not to be murdered. I think we should include animals in our circle of moral consideration and extend basic
So
rights
what
to
if
them.
we ate lions? Then what?
If we were to eat hunted lions or
Hunt
something like
lions,
that,
Yeah, let's go hunt lions.
Why is
What's
that
the
fair to
difference
them?
between?
And then
hunting a
honestly,
lion?
why we can't tell them the veganism idea? Because this is what I was trying to say earlier. We know that we on the human team, right? Sell it to them because they attack everything else.
yeah, but
Why
you
we
guys,
can't
you,
give
you
them
guys,
plants?
you guys presumably agree with me. We have common ground here, right? We are against slavery, human slavery.
We're against all types of oppression. We're against all types
All
of,
types of oppression except oppression of innocent animals,
They're
right?
not turning around, boycotting
but
the fact
if we
that
killed
they getting
lions and tigers and bears,
That's
all
what
that.
I'm saying. Animals attack animals.
But you
and
said
there's
that
a
you would
circle
kill
of life.
one.
I would kill a Nazi too. What's wrong with that?
So what's the difference between the bear and the cow?
The difference between the bear and
from
the cow.
being an apex predator,
If you gonna kill,
from being an apex
if you gonna
predator,
kill,
and
you're gonna
then-
kill. Like,
yeah,
at
the,
the end of
the
day, if you're
bear,
gonna
the
kill,
bear
you're
is a
gonna
being
kill.
that
Like,
commits
it's just
rights
like-
violations.
But
It
is
kills
it
other
not
people.
sentient?
Like,
Of course it's
if you
sentient.
came to
Nazi
me-
is sentient.
but you
I'm in
said-
favor of killing
but-
Nazis too.
but-
What's the contradiction?
But I
If
wouldn't
you
kill a
can't-
person.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you
Okay,
if
we
you
are
came
a
to
little
me-
bit off topic, by the way. A little bit off topic. We have common ground. We believe in universal human rights. We think we
shit.
shouldn't be able to enslave humans.
Type shit.
Then why the fuck
I'm
wouldn't
going
wouldn't
to
we?
the fiesta.
Okay, why wouldn't we extend those rights to
Flip-flops
animals?
are gonna get sucked up by the waves.
Oh, thanks,
You
bro.
wanna move them over?
Thanks. Thank you. So why wouldn't we extend basic rights to animals? Well, like, what's so different between you and me and animals that justifies literally murdering them for fucking sandwiches?
Because there's carnivores, there's herbivores, there's all types of different like animals that eat different
Okay,
things.
so I'm
and it's
gonna-
one of
I'm
those
gonna use
things
your
where
own logic
human
against you.
beings.
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
use-
no, no, I got you.
Okay.
Human beings have free will, right? So that means that you can have your beliefs and do whatever you want to do. I can have my beliefs and do whatever I want to do. He could have his beliefs and do whatever he wants to do. Thing is that how humans set it up, right, for one another, for each other, is that we set up a basis where, believe it or not, it's a selfish basis, yeah. It's us choosing ourselves, yeah. But we set it up in a sense of where if we chose a form of life, right, we take the consequences and etc. that come with it, yeah. But at the same time, we chose that form of life.
Yeah,
if we
so
want to
I'm-
eat a certain way, we can go ahead and eat. There's people out there eating all types of weird
So
shit.
you think Jeffrey Dahmer was is nothing wrong with what he was doing?
Now let's belay back, right? Let's go back to what I just said. They accept the consequences that come with their actions, right?
Okay.
Now Jeffrey Dahmer was
Okay,
a serial
but
killer.
my question
His
was this.
consequence was that he got fucking arrested eventually, and he fucking died. Now that's what happens when you choose the path.
But my question is this, bro. My question is, what's true of animals that if was true of us would justify differences in treatment? You
It's
said
the
something
it's
about
the same
nature.
thing
Let me
for
respond
them.
to what you're saying. You said something about nature because it happens in nature. You do understand that in nature cannibalism happens too, rape happens. You think it's fine for us to in human society commit cannibalism and rape just because it happens in nature?
It was fine. I said that.
No,
when-
I asked you
said when
specifically.
humans
I asked
choose.
you specifically. What is
Hear
it
me
that
out,
justifies?
because you're not listening.
No, I asked
said
you a
when
specific
humans-
question,
I-
and you
no,
answered.
no,
and you
I'm
answered that.
answering it. When humans choose, they take the consequences that come along with their choice. So if there is a rapist, whatever they did is gonna come with the consequence. The same as animals that go and attack another animal. If a lion is gonna attack a bear, they are calling for a consequence of a fight, and if they survive that fight and have their food, they won. If they don't, they lost. And that's the thing. That's how the world works. At the end of the day, whether what we think is right
I'm
or what
still,
we think is
I'm
wrong,
still not seeing.
there is-
I'm still not seeing
well,
the answer to
that's
my
because
question.
You just probably don't understand it.
No,
in
the
that
answer
way,
that-
and that's
it's a
fine.
very simple
Y'all
question.
Probably got
No,
millions of other people.
it's a
out here
simple question,
that just
bro.
don't understand it.
It's a very simple question.
But
it's a very simple
it's a
question,
simple
and you're
answer,
avoiding the
not
question.
answer. Did I not answer? the
I'm
question,
asking for a
Scott?
trait. I'm asking for a specific trait or set of traits that is true of animals. That if it were to be true of us, would justify doing the sort of thing to humans.
But my question is what?
No, that's
what
another
authority-
question. Is not a reply to my question. If you're gonna run away from the question,
So
we
you're
can just
saying
end it
there's
right
a
here.
specific trait that we need to have.
Or set of traits. It could be multiple traits.
Are we
Because
not
obviously,
surviving?
because obviously
Are we
you
not
have, because obviously
survival,
you
no?
obviously you do
Is
have
that not a thing? Is that not
survival.
Something we do?
Okay, survival is that the trait?
Is that not what
So
we do?
let me ask you what follows logically from that trait.
Yeah.
So if you were in a survival situation and you were just you and your innocent friend right here, you would be in favor of killing him and eating him
No.
to survive? Okay, no, then that can't be the trait then. That's a logical contradiction.
Because no, that's weight. No, like that's one of those things where I have a connection with this individual. It's the same thing of saying like if you're in a situation where
let
you
me
know
ask you
for
this.
sure
Connection.
you're gonna die,
Connection
are you
is the
gonna
trait.
kill yourself?
Connection is the trait then. Let's say you didn't have any sort of connection with this individual. You weren't raised with him. You didn't know him at all. Like for some reason you didn't have empathy for this individual. You would be in favor of murdering and eating him?
Because I have empathy
Friendly
for all
fire.
human
No,
It
We're
wouldn't be
human.
fine?
We're human.
Okay, let's say he wasn't human. Let's say you tested his DNA, he wasn't human. It would be fine to kill and eat him?
beings.
If he
Depends on how
looks
acts.
human, I'm not eating that
Okay,
shit.
let's say he didn't look anything like a human,
If
but
he
he
was
had
a
the
cow,
same.
if he
No,
was a chicken,
Let me specify.
fuck yeah,
let
I'm
me
eating
let me
that.
specify the
If he
hypothetical.
was a bird,
Let me specify the
Eating it.
hypothetical. Let me specify the
Same brain,
hypothetical.
different body.
Let's say, yeah, same subjective experience, same mind, completely different body. Didn't look anything like a human, but had the same subjective, the same mind, the same soul or whatever.
so if I'm
you would be in
connected-
favor. You
if
would
I'm-
be
that
That's why
you
this-
gotta
no
understand.
connection, no
If I'm-
connection, no connection at all.
That's why this can be generalized.
This
It
could be
has to-
generalized.
no,
It
it
need-
can't be.
it can't be
It has
generalized.
to be. It has to be each circumstantial situation.
It's too circumstantial.
Of
Like,
course,
we're
Yeah,
not-
I'm
we're
asking that
making-
specific
we're making
hypothetical.
unrealistic. All right, it's almost like we could sit here and try to say, oh, what if this happened?
What you're trying to find with your hypothetical.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm testing your ethical principles. What leads from your. You have a moral compass. I'm trying to test what leads from and all those sorts of reductios are what leads. If you deny them, it's a contradiction. Like that's what leads. I'm trying to test your ethical principles. You said looking like a human. You said connection.
Yeah.
Looking like a human. And something like that. So if he didn't look anything like a human, and you didn't have a connection or empathy for him, you would have to be in favor of killing and eating him.
No, I think it
But
depends.
why? But why is that the only choice that I have?
Well, I asked you what are the traits are. You gave me those traits.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like you're asking for a situation that depends. Like if we were to sit here and say, what are you gonna do if the world blew up right now? I don't fucking know. It's like one of those things where it's like I'm not in that situation.
So I'm gonna end this because it's
situation.
Okay. So if you're gonna run away from hypotheticals, I think hypotheticals are very useful in ethics because they test our values.
But
if you have a stable position, you should be able to respond to logically possible hypotheticals. Just like if I ask Ibrahim, if you were to be able to travel back in time and sleep with Cleopatra, would you do that? He can say yes or no, even if that's not physically possible or whatever. I'm just testing your values.
But that's a straightforward
I think this is not going anywhere because you guys are just repeatedly contradicting yourself. But I'm gonna ask you just one more simple question, man. One more simple question. If we had two worlds right now, world A, in which we would perpetually keep doing this to innocent animals, keep holocausting them for sandwiches, or world B, a world in which we stop doing this, we shows compassion, and instead of exploiting animals, we were to eat non-sentient beings like plants. What world would be a better place to live?
It depends on the performance of the humans.
Let's say everything else equal. No, let's say all else equal. All else equal. Just world A, we're systematically holocausting animals for food. World B, we stop doing that. Innocent animals are freed from exploitation. Which world would be better?
If they're performing just as well, then to each their own. It seems like
okay, man, you're avoiding the question.
No, I'm not. Why would I choose one? If they're both doing fine, then shit, they got their shit figured out.
If you had to choose one. You have to choose world A.
You can have either.
You could have either one.
No, if you had to choose just one. You had one option. You had a gun to your head. You have to choose one. Systematically exploiting animals for perpetuity for the rest of human existence, or choosing compassion and not exploiting animals. What would you choose?
I'm gonna fuck up the meats. I ain't gonna hold you. Shit's fire.
Okay, man, then you.
I'm a carnivore.
You're a selfish person.
Can I answer that question?
So you think that then? But I know what I do.
It is selfish. It is selfish not to consider others morally.
I mean, what you're doing here is selfish too, bro.
No, it's not. It's not. He has his set of beliefs that he's trying to tell us. My fault.
It's fine.
No, so you're saying the two worlds.
Hey man, you run away from my questions. You're a coward. You run away from my hypotheticals.
If you're gonna call him cowards, come on.
No, he is a coward. You run away from my question.
I know. All I'm gonna say is, if there's two worlds, say the worlds right now are the same. If there's two worlds, you live in a world where you're gonna eat vegetarian food. I live in a world where I'm gonna eat meat. Right? They both exist on this planet, right? Mm-hmm. People who believe like you do and like I do, right? Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is there's a different subjectivity to what I believe with souls and my hierarchies of souls, and like we were talking about before, right? With the hierarchy of souls, like we were talking about before, right? All I'm saying is my beliefs to that are different than yours, and that's what leads me to be able to, you could say be able to, but morally allows me to eat meat. It's almost like how Muslim
but
people
you do agree that they lead to contradictions, your beliefs?
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah, at least you're intellectually...
I do agree with that, but all I'm saying is that my beliefs, at the end of the day, I understand the cruelty of killing an animal that is violent and it ends in a death, right, of a being, at the end of the day. But what I believe in is that the hierarchy of souls and the God that I believe in says that's okay for me.
By the way, I don't think we disagree in believing there's a hierarchy of value. Yeah. I just don't think they have so insufficient value. It's okay to I asked you the same question I asked him. Two worlds, you had to choose one. Perpetually holocausting animals for the rest of existence.
I know, yeah.
Or choosing choosing compassion for them.
I'm wrapping
choosing. Let's say choosing mercy for them.
Sure.
What would be ethically superior?
Ethically superior would obviously be the vegetarian world. In the world.
Vegan.
In the world that you are portraying, right?
We at least agree. Let's end on a note of agreement, right?
Yeah. Okay. If you want to end there, we can. But all I'm saying is that the world that I live in and the beliefs that I have allow me to eat meat. That's the only thing I'm saying. And
I think you. By the way, I
The
think
sources
more
I get meat
specifically,
from.
your set of values and beliefs not only lead to you it being okay to eating meat. It leads to anything being okay, because once there's one single contradiction, any proposition can be either true or false
You have
simultaneously.
contradictions.
And you weren't able to point one out.
Yes, I was.
What's the contradiction? By the way, a contradiction in
talked about.
real quick, I'm gonna go.
Sure, okay,
I
man.
appreciate your conversation.
Thanks for
You
the
talked about-
intellectual honesty, for
Don't
your time.
Like your
Don't
shirt.
get caught in it. I appreciate you. Have a good night.
By the way, but he claimed I contradicted myself. I just want to understand really quick the contradiction. In formal
You
logic,
said-
a contradiction.
you said-
Let me
you said
explain really
about
quick.
killing
Let me explain
sentient
really quick what a
beings.
contradiction is. In formal logic, a contradiction is a proposition and its negation in conjunction. So something like it is raining and it is not raining. What's the contradiction in my view?
You said that you wouldn't kill sentient beings, correct?
Okay, and what's the contradiction?
You said you would kill a lion.
I never said I wouldn't kill. When did I say I wouldn't kill sentient beings?
Oh, I don't know, bro. Don't worry.
Okay,
Wrap it up.
take care, man. Hope you reflect on your values and stop harming others, bro.